Are you looking for a place to earn some passive income and you're not happy with the amount that your bank is paying you as interest on your checking or savings account? Well, you've come to the right place because I'm Professor Capko, and today we're going to talk about another place you might want to invest your money. But first, I want to say I believe something great is going to happen for you today. And now back to the video. If you like learning about investing, accounting, business law, and just new ideas, you've come to the right place. Give this video a thumbs up, and that way I'll know to make some more videos like this one. Thank you. I'm also on a quest to get up to 4,000 watch hours. That way I can get this channel finally monetized. So I would truly appreciate it if you would watch as many of my videos as possible. I even have some relaxation videos that you can put on in the background while you're working to help me get to that 4,000 hour threshold. And it's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Today I'm going to show you how to invest in treasuries. And treasuries are a type of government issued debt. So let's talk about that first of all. So I'm getting this information from the United States Treasury Department, and it's talking about the national deficit, the amount of money that we owe. Let's take a look just for a moment at the year 2022. In the year 2022, the government in revenue, this full amount here, 4.9 trillion with a T dollars. However, that wasn't enough. The government spent in the year 2022 6.27 trillion, again with a T, dollars. Think about that for a moment. $6.27 trillion was spent in the course of 365 days. I'm not sure what we have to show for that. You look around, I'm not really sure where that money went, but that's, for another video. But mathematically, just pure math, $6.27 trillion is more than $4.90 trillion. That left a $1.3 trillion deficit. That's the amount of money the government had to borrow in the year 2022 just to pay all of this $6.27 trillion worth of spending. How do they borrow that? Well, a big way is through treasuries, government bonds. Treasuries are a way of the government borrowing money for up to a year. So short terms up to a year are Treasury Bills. And then beyond that, there may be government bonds that can be up to maybe 30 years. So I've done some videos on what bonds are, and I'll link one of them up here in the corner, and you could take a look at that if you are unfamiliar with bonds. But let's talk about that. We know that the government just recently entered into a deal in which they raise the debt ceiling. That means the government is going again on a spending spree, and that means they are going on a borrowing spree. So they have to borrow money. So the government is going on a borrowing spree, and they're borrowing money from anybody who will lend it to them. And large countries such as China and other countries are oftentimes buying up treasuries. Banks buy up treasuries. That's one of the things they do when you put the money into the bank. You put some money into your bank. They usually go out and invest it, and sometimes it's through investing it in treasuries. But you can do it as well. And why would you want to do that? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look at how much Treasury bills are paying. And to do so, I'm going to take a look at a website called Public.com. Now, Public.com, even though it sounds like it is a maybe a government agency. It's not. This is a private trading company. It's a brokerage, and I'm going to put a link down below. And this is one way you can buy Treasury bills and through Public.com. And I urge you to read all of the disclosures on it and make sure you know what you're doing. I am not giving you investment advice or accounting advice or legal advice. I can't predict the future. I don't know what your circumstances are. I'm just showing you how you can invest in treasuries. This is one way to do it. It may not be the best way. There may be better ways for you to do it, but this is one way. And if you are interested in using public.com, I'm putting a link in the description. And if you use that link, you benefit from it because you will get a free partial share of some stock and you might get a choice on it, but that is for limited time only. So of course I will get a partial share as well, so we both benefit from that. This is for limited time, so do that right away if you plan to do so. All right, let's talk about what the Treasury bills are paying, just for example. And as of the video right now, as of the date of this video, it shows you that the current rate for treasuries is 5.37%. 5.37%, and that's YTM, that's yield to maturity. So that's if you hold the treasury bill from the day you buy it until it matures. Matures means it pays back. So you lend some money to the government. This is the federal government. We're lending some money, and when it matures, when it's due, they pay you back. The amount they pay you back will, at this point, if you bought it today, would yield you 5.37%. So that is, well, I'm not going to put any judgment on it. You determine whether that's a good rate for you. Take a look at what your bank is paying you now. Many banks, I think the average rate for banks is under 1%. Under 1% in savings and checking accounts. So this is appearing to be higher than the amount that the banks are paying you. Now, you put money into your savings account at the bank oftentimes will turn around and buy treasury bills, earning the rate you're seeing here. And they are making the spread between that. They're paying you a very tiny amount, maybe a tenth of a percent of interest, and they are earning the 5.37% interest. And that is one way that they make their money, and that's why they've got the big buildings that they build up. This is one way that you might think about circumventing them and putting the money into the treasuries directly. There are risks, though. However, there are risks. Of course, the government is most likely going to pay back. If the government is not going to pay back its bills, we may have bigger problems than the amount of money you invested. So there's not a whole lot of risk of default. Even though you hear about default in the news, there's not a lot of risk of default. There's always a risk of default. There's a risk that the world could end. So you could always have a problem, but these are relatively safe. Now, you're investing through a platform. The platform has some risk, maybe, and they also have some expenses, so they get a cut. So you may not be getting the full amount. So I do say read all the disclosures so you know who's actually holding the treasuries for you, whether you trust them, whether their fees are too high. These are all things you want to consider. So I'm just going to show you how to do it. Once you open your account, you are going to link a bank account to it so you can transfer some money into public.com, or you can have the account linked to transfer the money when you're ready to buy. Well, let me show you how to do it. I've got here's the Treasury account, and it's showing you that you can manage or buy, or you can sell them. Now, of course, if you need this money right away, there may be a delay in the time in that you sell it and get the money back into your account. So don't do this with any money that you need right away or that you're not going to be able to eat or have a place to live if you don't have it. This is an investment. There's risk, and it's something that may take some time to get the cash back out. So if you're maybe saving long term, this might be a way to do it. Maybe you're going to purchase a house down the road or a car, something like that. This might be a good place to place that money because you don't need it right away. And of course, if you sell it prematurely before it matures, before that deadline, well, then you might not get that full amount. So let's go ahead and look at buying. So we're going to buy, and I can do it from a checking account, or I can do it a different way. I can click on this and go down to my buying power, which I believe I have $100 in there, so I'm going to buy $100 worth. That is the other thing I want to mention. These are done in $100 increments. So you're going to buy in $100 increments. You make sure you read all the disclosures. And once you've done that, you hit submit. And there you go. And that invests the $100 into the Treasury bill. And what'll actually you'll notice is that because there's an interest rate involved, all $100 won't be used to buy it. It'll be bought at a discount, and because when it matures, it'll be worth $100. So you're buying it at a discount today, so all $100 won't be used. The remainder will stay in your account. So you'll see that when it actually purchases it. And it takes a little time for it to process, but then you will see that in your account. And then you have it and it's earning interest for you, and you have helped the world because you've lent some money to the federal government, which I'm sure will spend it wisely. That's all I have for you today. This is one way to invest in Treasury bills. There are other ways. I can do some other videos on it. But until then, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. Thank you.